As we all know, being part of an organization, especially a large one, we're typically working with many different people to deliver software to customers. And the process of doing so isn't just a matter of writing and shipping the code. There's a lot of email threads, meetings, documentation, and generally planning and design that goes into it all. So the idea with this demo is showing a full journey using powerful tools spanning not just cloud, but also workspace, search, Bard, and more to cover the end-to-end software lifecycle. So the order we'll take is that of a typical software dev cycle: design, code, test, deploy, operate, and we'll finish off with analyze. And this demo is meant to show an example of how one developer, me, working in a big business can use different Google Cloud tools around AI assistance to ship a new feature. The scenario here is Symbol Superstore, a grocery store web app that's running completely on Google Cloud, and I'm a backend developer working in TypeScript on the inventory API, which serves up the products that are stored in a database. So my job is to implement a new feature, get new products, which will serve up new products on a new arrivals page in the web app. So first, I need to write an email to my teammate. So I'll use Duet AI in Gmail to ask them if tomorrow morning is good to start working on this new feature together. Duet AI will take my prompt and write out an email for me. And this is a simple email, but the more context I give, the better an email Duet AI can write for me. So the next morning, I get together with this teammate and we start brainstorming the implementation of this new products page in a messy whiteboard session. And after the meeting, I jump into the architecture diagram tool and use it to clean up that messy whiteboard image into something easier to read that I can share with my team, and I can save it as an image right here in the tool. Now, I want to make sure that this architecture doesn't have any glaring issues and consider what other questions I should be asking, so I'll use Google Lens to upload the image into Bard. And I'll give some context on the project and ask if there are any risks with the architecture. Now, Bard can read the image and understand what I'm trying to do with the web app and provide some helpful information. And in this case, it's calling out some risks and questions around Firestore. How will I handle the new products, pagination, error handling, etc.? These are good questions to think about, so I'll export this conversation into docs and have this be the start of my design doc for this project. And once I have my doc started, I can use the Duet AI Help Me Write feature in docs to ask for help creating an outline for the design doc that I can then just populate with what I need versus having to spend the time outlining a doc when I have these Firestore risks to think about. So I'll send the design doc over to my team for review, and I'm updated that the UX team has been working in Figma on a front-end mockup for the new products page. So let's move to coding up the backend. I open up Cloud Workstations as my development environment and start in Apogee. I prompt Duet AI at the top of the screen to auto-generate an open API spec for the new REST API endpoint. Then, I use an open API code generator to auto-create TypeScript stub code from that spec, which is a great starting point for my code. Then back in Workstations, I'll start to implement the business logic. So using Duet AI's code generation, I can prompt it right here in the code, asking for the Firestore query that I want, which is to get new products that are in stock. Duet AI will actually suggest code for me, and once I look it over, I can press Tab if I want to accept the code suggestions. Duet AI is trained on Google Cloud documentation and client libraries, and it can suggest code based on the contents of my open code file. So it can help me write code using the Firestore Node.js client while pulling in my existing database fields. And so now I can start testing my code locally and iterating as needed. Oh, okay, so I run into an error coming from Firestore, and it's telling me I can't have multiple inequality filters, but I'm not sure what that means. So I'll do what we all do, and I'll Google it. And the generative results in search will actually surface relevant information from pages like Stack Overflow with links so that I can learn more, saving me a bunch of time. So with this information, I can go back to my code and fix the error, and now I should have a working JSON list of new products. Nice. So with my error fixed, I can jump into testing. Using Duet AI again, I can prompt it to write an express test using jest or supertest to test the API endpoint and verify that I'm seeing the response codes I want and the right list of products. And I can start running my tests through Cloud Workstations, and I should start seeing the tests passing here. Great. So once I get to a point where my code is ready and my tests have passed, I'm ready to put out a pull request to get this feature approved, merged, and into the production pipeline, which means it's time to deploy. So now I have a running backend API in Google Cloud Run and a new API endpoint deployed. So I'll check out the URL quickly to see the production front end, and I can see that the new feature is working, serving up the list of brand new products with the awesome design that the UX team put together. So now I've shipped my new feature with the help of Duet, so what now? Well, the software development lifecycle doesn't end here, so let's say I need to be on call for this inventory API. The first thing I want to find are the service logs, especially in case of an error. So I open up Duet AI Chat in the Google Cloud Console and ask it how to view the Cloud Run logs for the inventory API. And it gives me the steps I need to go ahead and do that. So I'm taking those steps, selecting the Cloud Run revision resource, and then finding the correct log name to see the activity. And I can go ahead and run the query. And I'm seeing some of the logs have errors, so I'll take a sec to dig into those a little bit. And I can save queries or modify them. And it's actually really nice to have the chat here because I can reference it as I complete those steps. So finally, I can see that the logs and everything seems to be running well. Next, I can work with the SRE team to create some service level objectives for the inventory service in Cloud Monitoring Metrics Explorer. So using Duet AI's Help Me Modify feature, I can create complex queries on my service health, in this case, asking to show for each zone. And I'm definitely not a PromQL expert, so this feature saves me a lot of time that I'd otherwise spend looking at a page like this, trying to find the right syntax. And instead, I can learn while getting the help from Duet AI. And of course, we can't forget about security. So in Security Command Center, I can browse vulnerabilities and findings. And Duet AI actually generates summaries of the findings so that I can easily understand what specific issues there are with my project. And with this information, I can go ahead and fix the issue myself, or I can work with the security team to help remediate. So a few weeks go by and the product lead is asking for a few slides for an upcoming executive update. So I get together with an analyst on my team. And the big question is, of course, what is the impact of creating this new product showcase? Did this lead to improved sales or other helpful business insights? So in Google Sheets, we're going to ask Duet AI to create a plan table to help us analyze the sales impact. So here we have a table which we can fill in with our own sales targets later on. Then we can go take a look at the data in BigQuery. Again, here we can prompt Duet AI right in the editor with the # and use the SQL completion feature so that Duet can help us finish this query. And we want the sales from the sales roll-up table on the weeks before and after the new products page was shipped. So we can run the query and see the results. And for someone who's less familiar with SQL, this is very helpful to speed up writing some valid SQL queries. And I can even take this one step further. For example, if the analyst wrote a complex SQL query and I want to better understand it, I can highlight the SQL query and right-click or use the tooltip and have Duet AI's SQL explanation feature tell me what that query is doing. And next, in Spanner, where I have the raw transaction data, I can use similarly powerful SQL completion features with Duet AI as I dive deeper into that raw data. Finally, my teammate and I have collected a bunch of data to add to the executive presentation slides, and as we build out the deck, we can use Duet AI in Google Slides to generate supporting images, in this case of happy shoppers, and we can insert directly into our deck to help demonstrate the impact of this new feature. Okay, that was a lot. To recap, I used Google's AI assistance features from Duet AI in Workspace and Google Cloud to bard and search throughout the software development lifecycle to bring an idea to life. Generative AI tools helped me collaborate, debug when I got stuck, and automate tasks to free up my mind and time to help tackle some harder stuff. This only scratches the surface of what Duet AI can do. Hopefully, this inspires some ideas on different features that you can explore for your own use cases. Make sure to check out the links in the description to get hands-on with Duet AI by trying the learning path.